Okay. Hi, welcome to the Monday, January 26th, 2026 regular board meeting. Janet, we'll call to order. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? 26th, Micah. 26 regular board meeting. There we go. Thank you. We'll call to order. Can we all stand? You ready for the Pledge of Allegiance? Everybody stand.
This ain't gonna happen.
What? I pledge allegiance
To the
to the
flag
The United States
States
of
of
America,
America
and to the republic for which it stands,
and
One nation,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty,
and justice
justice
for all. Thank you. Janet, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mrs. Beagle,
Here.
Mrs. Boyce,
Here.
Mrs. Burns,
Here.
Mrs. Delaney,
Here.
Mrs. McBride,
Here.
Mr. McIntyre,
here,
Mr. Mock,
here,
Mr. Ritter,
Here.
Mrs. Warning.
Here.
Thank you. On January 15th, 2026, the board had an executive session to consult with our Real Estate Appeals Council regarding legal strategy and a potential settlement of pending commercial property assessment appeals. The Finance Committee took place on January 15th and the Policy Committee meeting on January 16th. We do not have any presentations for anybody that is on Zoom or online. If you have any comments, feel free to go in the chats as that's being monitored. Micah, do we have anybody on the Zoom?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Board member discussion items. Does anybody have anything that happened in the last week that they'd like to discuss or any ideas that they had?
This is Donna, just from the finance meeting. I know we had the question during the meeting about where we stood in Monroeville and Pitcairn for property taxes, and I think Mr. Zarella said he had just received it but hadn't done the summary. So I was hoping that he could just provide a quick overview for the community on property assessments, and so because that's a first step in determining the budget for next year.
Yeah, would you mind if we put that at the end with the board committee reports?
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Anybody have any other discussion items? No. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the December 2025
Second.
reorganization meeting and the regular meeting? Rick moved. Who second?
Me, Valerie.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions about the minutes?
That seems such a long time ago.
It does. It does. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Mr. Zarellas, financial reports, please.
Thank you, Mrs. McBride. Financial reports, item 5.1, list of bills, January 2026. Item 5.2, financial statements for November of 2025. And item 5.2, financial statements for December of 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody have any questions on any of the bills? Okay. Can I have a roll call, please, Janet? Did we lose Janet? Oh, there you are. Wait, you're back on mute, Janet.
Fingers are slipping. Mrs. Boyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Burns,
Aye.
Mrs. Delaney,
Aye.
Mrs. McBride,
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre,
aye,
Mr. Mock,
aye,
Mr. Ritter,
Aye.
Mrs. Warning,
Aye.
Mrs. Beagle.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Mr. Bridge, personnel?
Thank you, Mrs. McBride. Item 6.1, recommend approval to revise the items listed from the September 23rd, 2025 board meeting, reflecting the two individuals serving as co-head coaches for bocce and splitting the supplemental. Item 6.2, we have 4 resignations. Item 6.3, recommend approval to accept Abisiako's rescission of acceptance of employment, which was item 6.8.3 from our last study session. Item 6.4, we have 5 retirements. We mentioned 4 from our study session, but we've added Simo Dragovich, who will be retiring on Christmas 2026. So seems like a forever till we get to there. Item 6.5, we have 6 leaves that all qualify under the Family and Medical Leave Act. Item 6.6, 3 individuals requesting unpaid leaves. Item 6.7, we have 2 employments that we are recommending for food service and for secretary. Item 6.8, we have a number of supplementals. Most of them are for spring supplementals, spring sports supplementals. There are 18 items that we're asking that you approve. Item 6.9, recommend approval to pay the following discretionary stipends reimbursable from the musical budget for the general fund. These are stipends because these 2 positions are not district approved supplementals, so they are reimbursable services through the musical budget and the general fund. Item 6.10, please approve the 7 volunteers that are listed. And item 6.11, we're recommending approval to the addendum to the Act 93 compensation plan as stated herein.
So moved.
Second.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Bringe on section 6 personnel? No. Okay, if no question. Wait, somebody say something? No. Janet, there's no questions. Can we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Mrs. Burns,
Aye.
Mrs. Delaney,
Aye.
Mrs. McBride,
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre,
Aye, with the exception of 6.8 and 6.9.
Mr. Mock,
Aye.
Mr. Ritter,
Aye.
Mrs. Warning,
Aye.
Mrs. Beagle,
Aye.
Mrs. Boyce,
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you. Dr. Chaky, Administrative Resolutions and Education.
Thank you, Mrs. McBride. Item 7.1, we have 2 policies for approval. Item 7.2, approve the ELA resource, My Perspectives. Item 7.3, approve the master services agreement between Gateway School District and Devereaux. Item 7.4, we have several policies there for display. Item 7.5, approve the LearnWell agreement. Item 7.6, approve the Solient agreement. Item 7.7, we have 1 conference listed. 7.8, approve the new course at Gateway High School for AP Cybersecurity. Item 7.9, approve the pilot of the timely scheduling optimization software for use at Gateway High School.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody have any questions for Dr. Chaky in section 7?
What is Devereaux? I do have a question. I think I can't go back up. I think it was like 7.2.
It's 7.3, yes.
7.3, Devereaux is It's speech and occupational therapy services for students with that are required under the IEP.
Okay.
I wanted to bring up, John and I met with Dr. Chakey to go over all of these policies. We made some comments and suggestions, but the one thing that we're going to approve tonight that we want to have this, and I don't know if John wants to chime in on this, when we do artificial intelligence, this is ever evolving. Sometimes when we pass policies, they stay that way for a while. But with artificial intelligence, we discussed the fact that this is moving so fast. There's so many pieces of legislation. There's so much going on that even though we may pass this policy tonight, that we think this needs to be revisited probably on a quarterly basis. We discussed that we can't just pass it and let it sit. There's too much going on with that. There's too much of a conversation. There's hearings. There's all kinds of things. So if we pass it the way it is, if we could please revisit that several times during the course of the school year, just to see where we are, with legislation, what's happening at the state level. All kinds of things are happening. So we just can't sit on that policy. We can pass it, but we have to realize we need to constantly revisit that policy as we go.
Cheryl, if I may tack onto that, Cheryl's exactly right. At an HL7, Health Level 7 Standards Development Organization meeting all this week virtually. And artificial intelligence is one of the biggest things that's being talked about there from a lot of thought leaders across the United States and across the world. And it has changed since September, and things are moving along and they're becoming more and more complex. And so Cheryl's right. We need to just stay very nimble and continue to react to new developments in order to keep the kids and the data safe, not only in the schools, but the data as it leaves the schools and gets used by big data out there. It's artificial intelligence digestion of big data. So it's hard to see now where all this is going. And so we need to be vigilant and keep an eye on artificial intelligence. Thank you, Cheryl.
No, and I think if we just mark it down, and I'm going to mark it down, that we count 3 months from today when we pass this, that we bring it up again and look and see where we are and keep it on our calendars so that we don't let it slide, that we keep our eyes on it. So
we have
And
two
Cheryl,
avenues
just
that
Yeah.
for clarification, you and John are discussing the policy for approval 7.1,
artificial
but
intelligence.
yeah, but we have a lot of policies happening. So
Yes.
the 7.4, we're all asking for approval to put them on display,
Right.
but the policy 7.1.1,
Right.
we're being asked to approve and put into
Correct.
place just that
Correct.
7.1
Along
section.
with
Okay,
social media. But the
correct.
biggest one,
Okay.
and really social media and artificial intelligence, but specifically artificial intelligence policy 8815.1 is going to have to be revisited, because you can pass it now with the idea that 3 months from now, we may go back and revisit that again.
Okay, Dr.
Leslie,
Rossi, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Leslie, if I may
I-
clarify, I think just to restate, we are approving right now 7.1, which contains two subparts, 711 and 712, artificial intelligence and social media. So we
Right.
approve that now. We put the other things on display for 30 days.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
perfect. I'm
Dr.
sorry, Dr.
Rossi.
Rossi.
yeah, I would
Doctor.
just say for the artificial intelligence and social media would fall in this bucket as well. We have two avenues where we receive constant updates, and that's through PSBA, and we're also a part of the Technology Pool Council, and they provide us that level of in-depth look at it. And so if there's any updates they recommend, we'll be sure to bring that to the board.
Yeah, I had just a clarification question here under the 7.4. If you scroll down to the policy labeled 122.1, non-curriculum related, non-school sponsored, student initiated groups. We have it labeled as policy 122.1 for the purposes of display, and we're approving that. We currently have a policy in place that is 122.1, and it deals with extracurricular activities. So I'm just wondering if this is a replacement for that policy, or is this just a confusion with the labeling of a new separate policy?
We're trying to label the policies from PSBA. PSBA labels and numbers our policies. Oftentimes they combine, delete, and retire policies. So I think the information you were referencing was like the grade point average. That is listed in a policy that wasn't taken out. That's in another policy.
Yeah, but that policy is
yeah,
122.1 in
point
our code book.
yeah.
See where I'm getting? It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Correct. And PNN and PSBA did change the name of 122.1 with the most recent update to the policy itself.
So well, that's why we're starting batches. Actually, you'll see that coming up in your update. So this is really what we're calling batch one. We really do want to make a concerted effort, really, to make sure we're on top of the policies as the updates come. There are some policies that haven't been reviewed for a number of years, and that's where some of the numbering becomes an issue. So, like I said, when they retire, sometimes they just completely delete a policy, and then they'll take that content and put it in other policies. So we're in the process of making sure our policies align with the numbering system of PSBA.
Rick, are you saying we already have a policy 122.1?
That is correct.
Yeah.
I wrote it. I remember.
No.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just so
So if we
is
adopt
also
this as policy 122.1, again, it's just clerical minutia here, but I don't want
Yes,
something
right.
to
Yeah.
get nipped that we didn't intend to delete.
No. That's why we're trying to make sure we align with PSBA because they handle our policies.
So then we need to change our current 122.1 to something else.
That I'll look at that.
Okay.
But yeah, Janet, I thought we did that, correct?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did. And that's, like I said before, that is the renaming of our current policy 122.1 with the new title. So when we go in a month from now and adopt all of these policies, when we make this 122.1, it will come up under the new title. But it all still
but the
pertains.
language for the current 122.1 is going to remain.
Yes.
All right, just so we're all clear, we're not voting tonight on a policy that removes a minimum GPA requirement.
No, that wasn't that. We actually put that back into another policy to make sure everyone was very clear. Yep, we're good.
Right.
I've
That
just
was
been down
added
that
in.
road before.
The GPA policy was added into policy 123 interscholastic athletics as well.
And also, again, Rick, this 7.4, we're just approving to put all these policies on 30-day display. So we're not even approving these policies this evening.
Copy that.
Okay. I did have a question on the 7.7, the conference. What conference is that?
That's the National Association for School Psychologists. I believe Jessica's the president of that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then I had a question on 7.9, since we just had a whole discussion about AI, this part of the software that is an AI-driven software for scheduling. What's the intent for doing that? Are we going to just try to see what happens on the schedules, and then we're going to use it, or what? Could you maybe explain that a little bit more?
I'll talk a little bit, then Micah, you can jump in. But absolutely, we're piloting it, and we'll evaluate it based off of the effectiveness of it. The scheduling for high school and middle school, high school particularly, can be a little challenging. We want to make sure we have the right amount of kids in the seats. You might have some classes that have 5 kids. We want to make sure that we're maximizing the seats and the class rosters. A lot of kids want to double up, and this particular software program we believe can help with that. So, Michael, you want to talk a little bit about the AI part of it?
Yeah, I'm hesitant to use the term AI with
Yeah.
Timely. They
Okay.
have some very clever algorithms that make scheduling much more efficient for us because they can find combinations that we would not have considered. Um, Now, again, there's a gray area between some of the algorithms and AI, but again, it's not the AI that you would think about when you talk about ChatGPT, for example. This is more of a data-oriented analysis to find the best and optimal schedule for our students.
So,
We can
Micah, this is
actually,
going to, oh, I'm sorry.
are we going to actually use this to issue schedules this year? Or we're going to just see how it does in comparison to what we usually do and then make an assessment at the beginning of next school year or something?
Yes, we're essentially going to run it side by side with our current scheduling process. So the course recommendation and the student request will all happen like normal. And then we will run one with our current system, which is using Skyward, and one with this system. And we are going to see the average coverage for our staff and our students to see what fills the student schedules better.
And this is going to be easy to track, Micah, to determine the interest in the class. If you only have 5 students versus 15. So this will be easier to track too, compared to where we're at now.
Well, we can already tell that there's 5 students who are interested in a class. What this really helps with, though, is find classes that are companion classes that maybe should be scheduled opposite of each other. So, for instance, if someone's interested in an art class, chances are they're not going to take like a higher level mathematics class like as an elective at the same time. So it can like find combinations and figure out where to put classes where we could actually schedule more classes for the students because they align better with each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, does. Thank you.
Anybody have any other questions in section 7? Janet, may we have a roll call, please, in between your shots of NyQuil?
Mrs. Delaney,
Aye.
Mrs. McBride,
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre,
Yes to all except 7.7.
Mr. Mock,
Aye.
Mr. Ritter,
Aye.
Mrs. Warning,
Aye.
Mrs. Beagle,
Aye.
Mrs. Boyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Burns.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Section 8, back to you, Mr. Zarellis.
Thank you, Mrs. McBride. Item administrative resolutions. Item 8.1, approve the child, nutrition agency partner agreement between Gateway School District Backpack Program and the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank effective January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. Item 8.2, approve the food distribution program in partnership with Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. Item 8.3, approve and accept the district donations as listed. A 96 by 42 whiteboard to Evergreen Elementary donated by Mr. Chris Moody. Ashley Hilder donated $679.94 from the Coffee Cart Project to University Park Elementary. And the last donation, Monroeville Alliance Foundation donated $1,000 to the Gateway School District Backpack and Food Pantry Program. Item 8.4, approved Dr. Stacy Nikoloff as a school physician for the 26-27 school year. Item 8.5, approved Dr. Richard A. Falter as a school dentist for the 26-27 school year. Item 8.6, approved the lease agreement with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit Head Start Program and Pre-K Counts Program for additional use of rooms at Mosside Middle School, rooms 107, 109, and 110. Item 8.7, approved the real estate property assessment appeals as listed. 8.6 Monroe Zemgaius, parcel 1244 L372. 8.62 RCG Monroeville, parcel 638 R64. And item 8.63 Cambridge Community Partners, parcel 858 B100.
So moved.
There's still one more item. There's 8.8.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it on the screen here. Oh. Approve the resolution for the Public School Facility Improvement Grant from the Commonwealth Financing Authority for the roof project.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, does anybody have any questions on section 8?
Yeah, I had a question on 8.6 on the lease agreement. I just double checked in board docs. I don't actually see the agreement, so I'm not sure what we're agreeing to, duration, dollar value, or anything.
Actually, that's a great question. We actually they increased it up. If you remember, a couple years ago we had a facility rental come out, and we were going to lease Moss High Middle School to a charter school, I believe, and I got them up to $9 a square foot just for these three rooms until next year. Then next year these are three additional rooms. We have 6 prior to this that are paying $416 a month. These go up. These three here will be $432. In July of 2027, we're gonna create one lease agreement and bring them all up to the $9 or whatever the board wants to do at that time.
So that
yeah, I'm sorry.
value was per month per room. That's an additional value.
Right.
So they
So
have
this-
6 rooms right now?
Yeah.
9. If you vote on this tonight, it'll be a total of 9.
So we're approving this knowing come July, you're going to be charging them differently than you do from now through July.
Right, because this is just a 1-year agreement. The other ones there was a 2-year, so they're kind of locked in. So what I told them is we'll get them up to what we should have been charging all along, and then next July of 2027 they'll all be. You can just do it under one lease agreement.
Okay, so for 2026, we got 9 rooms, but not, okay.
Yeah, 6 will be paying $416 a month, and these 3 will be paying $432 a month.
So is that for the 26-27 school year, or is that a calendar year?
Yes. Yeah, because this lease agreement will start July 1st this year to June 30th of 2027. And the existing 6 rooms are majority of them are gateway students. This is a little bit different twist with students coming from outside school districts. So I thought it was only fair to go after the $9 a square foot.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question here. Since that building is being used for the AIU, we have our custodial staff there. Now, is that taking into consideration their cost on what we're charging them?
Yes, because there's a custodian there coming in every morning now, with I believe the additional position that we created for Martin freed up that custodian to be able to be over in Moss side in the mornings.
Okay. Now, did you take that when you were figuring out the rate?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
What is the Public School Facility Improvement Grant?
We received that grant last year. Oh, sorry, Mike. That was the roof grant we got for University Park. We're going to apply again. In order for us to apply, we have to approve this resolution. We can't even apply for it unless we approve the resolution.
Oh, so you need board approval to apply for this specific grant.
Yeah, because there's some matching funds associated with it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions?
when we get something like 8.6, is it possible just to have it in, I still am not clear. I have a better understanding in black and white before we do this, since we're talking numbers, because what if they come back and ask us for more? So we keep adding some. So it would be nice just to see it in black and white.
Sure,
Can we do that?
sure. Well, like I said, in this thing, the prior 6 rooms benefited Gateway students. I don't know if you ever had a chance to go over there and see it. It's very heartwarming to see what they do with those kids over there.
Oh, no, I
It,
know what the programs are all
yeah,
about.
and so
I have no problem with the
Mike,
really
program.
wasn't it
we'll put
really
in.
wasn't a money making point. But now that they're bringing in other districts, I felt it's only fair to charge them what we would charge anyone else.
Right, exactly. Oh, the programs are great. I've worked with pre-K. I get it, but it's just the idea they're using our facilities, and that's cost money to use the facilities. Yeah,
Yeah,
if we could see something in black and white, that would be great. Okay.
no problem.
Rossi, did you want to add on to that, or
No,
would you like me
no,
to
no,
ask for a roll call? Okay.
we're good.
Thank you. Janet, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mrs. McBride,
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre,
Aye.
Mr. Mock,
Aye.
Mr. Ritter,
Aye.
Mrs. Warning, Mrs. Warning,
Sorry, aye.
Mrs. Beagle,
Aye.
Mrs. Boyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Burns,
Aye.
Mrs. Delaney.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And then number 9, we have a board member resolution, and this is from Mrs. Boyce. She had done this last year and is very dedicated to maintaining these principles. If you would like to take a moment and talk about that, Cheryl.
Yeah, if you look at in our room on the wall, you will see these principles listed. As a matter of fact, for anyone that went to the training on Saturday at the AIU, you would have received a copy of that. That comes from the state and the School Board
Point of procedure.
Association.
Is this motion for approval today? Or do we need a motion before we discuss?
We're not discussing, this is her resolution. This is her.
Is this on the agenda to be approved? Is this an action item?
Yes.
Yes, but
Then we need to have, don't we not have to have a motion to approve in a second for discussion?
she was explaining the resolution, like we go down and have everybody explain what their stuff is.
Okay.
Or you can go back and do it that way if you want to.
Yeah, you
If
can.
you want
Yeah.
to, vote to discuss it, that's fine.
I just thought that we would maybe read the resolution and then discuss it.
I don't have the resolution in front of me at the moment. You would have all received a copy of that and gone through it. And at the training on the weekend, you would have gotten a copy from the School Board Association. That's from them.
So
Everybody.
can we have a motion to approve the resolution to adopt the principles
I'm
of
one of the
governance
managers
and
of the
leadership?
lot. Just wanted to let you know that the plumbing guys are gonna come
So
on
moved.
Friday. And you should allow them access so that they can clean out your lines. Everybody here.
You need a second.
Yes.
Huh?
Okay, Val Warning
Would it be
was
better?
first. Jeanette was second. Does anybody have any questions on what the resolution to adopt the PSBA principles of governance and leadership are?
Would it be better to do this when we're all collectively together in the room and we have a copy, which everybody gave, was attached? Dr. Rossi had it in the information he sent us, and it's also listed on the wall in the room, the school board room. Would it be better to wait until we're all together to do it? Because we have to sign it anyway. We're supposed to sign it.
So is that a motion to table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to, okay.
Do you want to table it? I mean, I can move to table it until we're all physically in the room together and and go through it. Since it's posted in the boardroom.
Just say the words motion to table.
Okay, motion to table. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
Oddly enough, Leslie, just John, let me jump in. Oddly enough, one of the tenets that we're approving is that the board pledges to follow all of the procedures and rules that it lays out for itself. So this is one of the rules that we have to, follow, and so it's okay for us to do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maiko, is there any residents or any comments in Dr. Rossi that you're seeing from the Zoom?
No.
No.
Micah, do you see any?
I do not.
Okay.
Okay. Dr. Rossi, you're up with your administrative reports.
I'll hold some things for next month when we're in person, but first I just wanted to extend a thank you to our maintenance and custodial departments. The teams have been out in the elements. They've been clearing lots, salting walkways, not once and twice, probably 5 and 6 times, because once they made a pass, they had to make another pass. So we certainly appreciate their hard work over the past 2 days, and unfortunately into this week. So looking at the head of the rest of the week, I just want to let everyone know we're closely tracking the forecast, specifically the extreme low temperatures, the wind chills that we're concerned about. So given that forecasted temperature of the week, I would expect some sort of adjustments to the regular schedule. And it really is just going to be depending on the day. We'll make sure we notify families as soon as possible via our standard communication tools, Skyward and Parent Square as well. Board Appreciation Month. I also wanted to acknowledge again that January is School Board Appreciation. We're fortunate to have a board that is really deeply committed to the success of our students and our staff. Due to the circumstances of the weather and the extreme cold, we'll plan a more formal celebration at the February meeting. Again, just as I said last meeting, I didn't want this meeting to pass without just saying thank you for your service to the district. That's all, Leslie.
Thank you. And now, Donna, I'd like to go back to the board committee reports and
Yeah,
give you and Mr.
Val had her hand up a little
Oh.
while ago. I didn't know if she still had something.
No, I tried to move my cat and hit the button.
Okay, well, never mind. I wanted to give Val credit that she needed to say
Thank
something.
you. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so we did have a finance committee meeting on the 15th of January. I would say his last name, Aaron Deckwaller from Ira Weiss, came and gave some background on property taxes in Allegheny County and the state of some just general lawsuits trying to get Allegheny County to reassess and explain the common level ratio, which I don't think I could probably get enough explanations of that. I feel like every time he explains it, it almost makes sense. Because basically people get a property or a value of the property tax, and then they multiply it by some smaller value. And then it reduces the amount of tax they pay, which I know has been a general struggle in the budget. So I'll let Mike, Mr. Zarellis, talk a little bit about the total value of, we started this already before, about total amount of property tax or property assessments in Monroeville and how this impacted last year's budget and how where we stand today, because that will impact this year's coming budget.
Thank you, Mrs. Barnes. Yes, some exciting news for a change. Every January, Allegheny County sends out their numbers that we use to calculate our revenue from real estate from Monroeville and Pitcairn municipalities. This is the first time in probably 6 or 7 years when Monroeville's overall assessment for commercial and residential properties actually increased, which is a good sign. For the 26-27 school year, the total assessed value of all properties, commercial and residential, is $2,257,000,000. Well, last year at this time it was $2,256,000,000. So it was an increase of 591,000. The flip side, Pitcairn, it was 57,860,000. Last year was 58,500,000. So Pitcairn decreased by roughly $640,000. So the overall combination of those two increases and decreases was 49,000. A decrease, the net decrease is only $49,265, which is like $1,200 in lost revenue. So last year, At this time, we were losing big time. We were like $29 million in assessment below the prior year, which is basically was like $1 million hit in our revenue for the real estate revenue. So this year, I'm very confident going in. We have good numbers. We're not going to have to raise taxes, just get back, get our heads out of the water and start at scratch, from that standpoint. With that being said, because our revenue last year, our real estate revenue is about 53 million from Monroeville and 1 million from Pitcairn. So I mean, it's a good indicator that hopefully things are on the right track for us with the assessments, the common level ratio settled down. Hopefully, the assessment appeals. Lee from our Wisaw being on top of all these commercial assessments, fighting them, getting appraisals, whatever we have to do, to fight back. Any questions?
Mike, just so the public's aware, we will still have a situation. We discussed that a little bit earlier before we got on for the public, that we will have to set some money aside because there is some possibilities we will have to return money to some businesses in Monroeville, as we had to do at one point for the mall, which was substantial. This won't be as bad, I realize, but we would still, as good as all what you just said, there is some possibilities where that's going to happen, correct?
Yes. Actually, the one pending property owner, I don't want to say the name right now, but the crazy part of all this, and it goes back to the common law ratio, and don't ask me why, but a judge, if this one goes through, it'll go back to the tax year of 2022, which is already 5 tax years. So we have to account for that in the budget process. And it's why it's appealing. What happened is the appraiser that did appraise it passed away. So by law, they have to start over. And this could take a couple years until it gets settled. So we're looking at refunds of possibly $700,000. So we definitely have to keep our pulse on what's going on with that. And then the other thing is the Monroeville Convention Center. That's an ongoing issue with Monroeville municipality as being tax exempt. We're saying it's taxable.
And we can't let this go to the last minute, obviously.
No.
Then have to find out where to get $700,000 or whatever.
Exactly.
It has to be
No.
done as we go.
Right. Yeah.
Which is
Thank
what
you,
was done.
Mike. And I just want everybody to know we had a finance meeting, and please come to the next one.
Please.
Donna, when is the next finance meeting that
It
all
is-
of this is discussed in length?
Yep, March 19th. It'll be at 6 p.m. And that one, Mike, we get the first look at some basic information related to the
Right.
budget, right? It's
Yes.
not a full budget, but we get the first numbers. Yeah.
Yeah,
March
preliminary.
19th.
Okay, and that will be both in person and available on YouTube that evening. So
Correct.
we do definitely go in length for those. And Cheryl and John, you did touch base already with the policies about your policy meeting that you two had with administration, going and reviewing every one of those policies. Thank you so much for doing that
All right,
legwork.
happy as, can I just jump in for a second? Happy to have done that. That was a good meeting, and I agree. Folks should come out for the finance committee meetings. They're always fascinating, interesting. And also, Mr. Zerellis, I'd like to say the board was prudent because of the status of the mall years ago, and your predecessor had us set aside some money in case we needed it, and that was the right decision. And now we're setting aside some money, in order to be prudent in case we might need it. And I still think that's a pretty good idea for us to follow, to be prudent in case we need this money.
Thank you.
Is there did we have any other committees do anything this week?
No, but to let everybody know that Dr. Ross and I decided, with the weather situation being what it is, there was supposed to be a curriculum and equity meeting this week, and it's being delayed a week. It's going to be pushed back to February the 5th, Thursday at 6 o'clock. Hopefully the weather will cooperate and we'll be able to do that. It's an important meeting. We're going to be looking at the testing data, all kinds of data that we received that gives us an idea where we're at with the kids and their performance. So it's an important meeting. I invite everybody to attend in person so you can come and see the information.
Jeanette?
Thank you, Mrs. McBride. Last week, Dr. Rossi, Miss Morning, and myself had an opportunity. We met with Visit Monroeville and the Chamber of Commerce, part of intergovernmental. It was more of like a meet and greet, introduce ourselves, and kind of see what everybody has going on. So I think we had good introductions, met some great people, and I look forward to working with them to help advance the school district and the community.
Thank you. I don't think we had any more board committees, right? Okay. Coach Hall, did you have anything you needed to say or bring up or tell us about how the weather is affecting our extracurriculars this week? Is he still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
Yeah, certainly we only had one event scheduled today. Well, we postponed that obviously along with practices. Looks like tomorrow we're going to be in the same boat. Quite a few events, but we'll figure it out as everybody's trying to figure it out in the aftermath of the snowmageddon here. The one thing I did want to bring up is last Saturday at our at Montour when we played in a showcase game versus Lincoln Park. Senior Mikel Bruce McCroman reached his 1,000th point in basketball, which is quite an accomplishment and something that we commemorate. We're going to recognize him Friday night prior to the game with a commemorative ball and notification. And again, that's quite an honor. And speaking of the boys basketball team, with their big win Friday night against Franklin Regional, now they are 9-1 in the section with a 2-game lead as we get about halfway through the second half of the season. So they're in position certainly to be a playoff team and most likely to win the section. A lot of other great things going on in swimming, wrestling, girls basketball, again, bocce. Lots of great student accomplishments, and we continue to be impressed by their dedication and all the good things they're doing to rep the G. That's
Thank
all
you
I have.
so much. So if the students have a flexible instruction day, does that automatically cancel things on campus, or should everybody wait to hear from their coaches, or what does that look like?
It's a good question, Leslie. Not necessarily. Sometimes those days happen because of treacherous roads, which we would never ask our student athletes or their families to transport them. But sometimes they're due to cold that could change during the course of the day, and sometimes other reasons. If it's safe in the afternoon in juxtaposition with what it was in the morning, then we certainly can have practices, and we've done that sometimes in the past or even events. But obviously, the abundance of caution is where we start. And if nothing's changed, or if it's a reason that makes it, unsafe, we would never have those practices or after-school events. But there are circumstances where we could still have practices or games when school is in flexible instruction day mode. Again, for the reasons I mentioned. That said, yes, we would communicate it, Dr. Rossi through me and then through all the coaches to their student athletes.
We
Okay.
typically
All
try to
right.
do that by noon. Just so you know,
Okay.
by noon. Yep.
Okay. Just in case, I've had a couple parents ask, so don't automatically assume a game or a meet or a practice is canceled. They'll hear through their respective coaches and school approved apps that they're using.
Is there a way that something could be posted, whether it's on the website, like when you go up and it'll have school closures, addressing if activities are still ongoing or not?
I'd prefer not to do that because
Okay.
we have to call that in at 5 or 5:30. We call that in. So that's hours later where we don't make the decision until we're confident that we could have people on campus.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you. And Mr. Walsh, I'm sure everybody is uh wondering how hard you guys are all working here.
Well, The guys are working pretty hard. We started early Sunday morning removing snow, and it's besides the overnight hours, we've been continuously removing. It's a lot of snow. Some of the piles are over 10 feet tall and 20 feet wide. So there's still a lot of snow to remove. The extended sidewalks are probably going to be the last things we get to. Um, but we are opening up doorways in parking lots. But they're calling for 35-mile-an-hour winds tonight, so we may be starting fresh tomorrow morning.
And how are the HVACs holding up in all the buildings? People at work were telling me they have to like run their water. Is that something the school has to worry about?
Most of our faucets and sinks are on the inside of the building, so that's it's usually not a problem. It's when you have faucets on outside walls, that's where you have to be careful and start dribbling water because it can freeze because it's extended cold outside.
Mhm. And our furnace is working overtime, and I know
We
we
have
had a couple uh fluctuating HVAC problems.
we are working on those, and we're working on them every day. Right now, we have every building as status of occupied 24/7. When it gets especially this cold with the extreme wind chills, it's hard to bring the buildings back up, and we're working on a lot of the automation to fix some of the other problems we're having in the other buildings.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are, and all of your guys and yourself are working pretty hard under these brutal conditions. Thank you.
Mr. Walsh, real quick, do we have the snow blowers? Are they using shovels or what are they doing
No,
to
we
try to
have
remove?
we have snow blowers at every building. We are running into some trouble where the snow is actually so deep that it's too deep for the snow blowers, and to try and do it, we got to knock them down in order to get it with the snow blower to be able to move it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. All right.
Is it going to require
Thank you.
more equipment?
If we could find more equipment, we would look at it, but I don't think we're going to find much what we can do. We are getting by with what we have. Like I said, the biggest problem is with the depth of the snow. It's just taking a lot longer to remove it. On the bright side, unlike the city and most municipalities, we're trying to take care of our trucks and not abuse them so that we can keep all of our trucks on the road, and everybody's pitching in. Hopefully by the end of tomorrow, depending on how cold it is and how safe it is for people to be outside, we'll just continue to keep removing snow.
How is your salt supply?
Um, Salt for sidewalks, we just got in 10 pallets and I have 10 pallets sitting waiting to be delivered. And with the municipality, they say they're getting low, but they're not limiting us yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Anybody else have anything? If not, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in
Thank
favor?
you. Stay warm and safe.
Aye.
Bye.
Bye.